It's me, Nace Warblood, EGSProductions, celebrating the infinity approaching infinite solution, which is fantasy. So it's been 8 years. 8. I always found that number really important to me, especially since Andre's favorite one was 7, and I'm the one who came after her, so 8. It stands for infinity. And so, for 8 years, I have been the CEO, the new leader of EGSProductions, the current owner, and it's been 17 years of EGSProductions as whole, since 28. Funny number, fitting for continuation from the old. And since the beginning of 2025 I have felt the effects of this year, And as many may have seen, I have been quite silent and mysterious lately. But something like truly changed me at the beginning of this year, and I began to rediscover myself and who I truly am. Now don't worry, EGS will always be part of it. But right now I have been focusing on this new story of mine, which is called the Porcelain Order, TPO for short. And believe me or not, I actually had idea for this haunted doll focus story that actually predates 2017 and before I even knew about Andre or EGS, so it's kinda like going back to roots for me. And it feels correct, even for the thematic of EGS and Andre plays, cause when you think about it, EGS itself was Andre's very personal outlet. It told her story, it magnified what was within her and brought it out into the world. So I just feel like it's only fair for me to do something similar, my own fully original story, And I have already updated, theme of all my social medias around TPO, face of our lovely main character. Lena Patoncup is now my avatar, and you can follow her adventures, aka the entire TPO story so far in AO3 archive of our own. Now, I'm not going to describe the entire story so far, but it's kinda like a weird school cult for haunted dolls that live in the shadows, in the streets, expanding and spreading their ways of doing stuff, I have the link for the story in description, obviously, And the biggest inspiration for this story so far has been Chucky, the killer doll, and haunted dolls in general. I fell in love with the art style of this Chucky fan artist called As the Race all the way in 2016, and her art just blew me away and was my biggest inspiration to actually get better at art myself, I struggled with drawing for many years until I finally got to the point where I felt like I was actually capable of doing something similar myself. Now, what will come with the story that I'm doing? Well, obviously it's been written currently, and there are some chapters which are already, up in AO3, so you can check them out. I have also planned audio recordings in similar vein to the original EGS tapes. But of course, a lot of people, many people may wonder why. What's the purpose of this story? Why am I doing this thing? And what happened to the original Irish story I was doing, I kept talking about that on and on all the time. Now, the reason why I want to do this story, that because it's actually based on myself. And more so very personal aesthetic I feel myself at times, through deja vus, dreams, daydreams. It's just that we all have these moments where certain colors, songs, weather, textures, sensations just tickle our brain just right and make us feel so great. And it's like we exist in a different reality, more closer to us than this physical current world, And after that mood is over, we may feel empty and question ourselves if what we felt was even real. And for that reason I want to make that feeling of mine into reality, a community of living haunted dolls, moving in the streets, haunting houses, forests, hiding in plain sight, getting captured on cameras, listening to the music of early 2000s, you know. And when you really think about it, it's kinda like Android's EGS in a way. Albeit TPO doesn't exactly have the same ring on it as EGS would. Hey, we have time to develop it. And yes, I'd absolutely love to grow this into a bigger community, have people make their own TPO OCs and join Lena's school order cult. And let's just be weird together, you know. This aesthetic is our kingdom, and we are the kings and queens of it. And once this story will someday be over, I think I will understand myself. And I hope some of you will understand yourself better too. This journey is not just for me, but for all those who follow me too. So I hope there are people who understand this aesthetic too and can feel freedom through it. And of course, lastly, what happened to that Irish story I was working on and teasing for years? Well, I just didn't feel like doing it that way. Now the lore of Nace Warblet as a character is still canon, but once again, Iris was heavily based on work of someone else, you know, Will Ryan of DA Games, and I want to avoid just doing someone else's thing, you know. TPO is my baby, my own original work I can rejoice in. And DA Games, you know, Will Ryan himself has gotten himself into quite a bit of a controversy. So I don't exactly feel like, you know, associating with that kind of guy anymore. Like, it would not be good for my image, you know. But I always love his songs though, and I will probably continue using them in my videos, and possibly in TPO content too. So, thank you all. Thank you who have followed me all these years. And thank you if you are new too, you know. I hope that I can provide good content for everybody. And I hope that my work can awaken something in you. I hope someone else understands this aesthetic in the same way as I do. Because it means a lot to me, you know. So, it's like St. Regulus says, you know. Keep your head held high, 'cause there's always tomorrow. I'll be in touch. Nace Warblet out.